Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the established digital artist known as SurrealSerpentine. And in this episode, we're going to be exploring the impact of scale, and we're also going to look at what it means to choose between light and dark. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, you're likely to be struck by the immense vibrance of the left side of this composition. You just look at this piece, you wonder what exactly is going on here. And so the first thing I notice is kind of the layout of the composition. We see this, of course, a massive wall, and it kind of appears as a one-point perspective, of course, going off to a singular vanishing point, but only a partial perspective, if you will. And so that gives a really interesting perspective. It almost feels as if the darker side of the composition is kind of closing in on that. It's quite interesting. Another thing you may notice is the singular color within this composition. We see, of course, a monochromatic scheme. And the only color here is that of a blue. And so the result there really elevates the impact of visual form. There is no doubt about that. Another thing I notice is the slight sense of texture within this composition, and we see this quite clearly. You know, it is rather rough within this work, but it gives us an amazing sense of kind of the atmosphere and the perspective that we're offered here, of course. It also gives a sense of visual energy alongside that vibrance. I think that's incredibly important. And there's really no doubt that the composition here is split in two distinct regions. We have that of the dark, and we have that of the light on the left side there. Of course, they're kind of contrasting each other and fighting for the viewer's attention. I think there is no doubt about that. And within this work, we see this small lone subject really dwarfed by this massive scene here. They almost appear to be exploring this massive room, so we wonder what exactly is happening here. But you'll notice, of course, it is interrupted by this massive wall here. There is a choice that is displayed to our subject here, and that is to go to the left or to go to the right. And with this in mind, what do you think is going on here? And so the title of this work is Boxed In, really gives us some insight of the symbolism of the scene at hand. Our subject is clearly trapped and has to make a decision either to go left into the light or to go right into the relentless darkness. And so this choice is incredibly important here. And we see this sense of importance further reinforced by not only the scale of the scene, but this sense of vibrance and sense of energy within the work. You know, the subject is not quite there yet, but when they do meet that wall, they're going to have to make a choice. I think there is no doubt about that. And so with this in mind, you know, what would y'all choose, or what would y'all do here? And it's a pretty interesting and metaphorical composition. I think there is no doubt about that. Every single day, we have a choice between light and dark. Do we hold up the good, or do we kind of succumb to the bad? It's a very profound question and something that not many people think about, but it is truly a thing that we confront and face daily. So I think that's incredibly important here. And so the original work was a photograph, so there's an edit here. I'm going to bring this in and give some insights on how this work was created. All right, so I brought in the piece that the original artist provided, and so instantly you can see, of course, the nature of our lone subject is exactly this person right here. It's hard to say who they are. It may even be a stock photo, if you will. But you see, of course, you know, we talked about this monochromatic scheme, but there is a slight sense of purple. I think that's quite interesting there. I didn't notice that at first, but that is you know, a little bit relevant to this composition. You see, of course, the vibrance of that blue is certainly translated into this composition. There's almost this glitch effect where, you know, you take a sense of part of that blue and then you kind of stretch it, if you will. So it is a masterful edit. There is no doubt about that. And it kind of leaves me speechless in a way to go from this and then create such a, you know, fantasy and impossible scene, if you will. It's absolutely stunning. I think that's a true testament to SurrealSerpentine's ability to make those edits. So yeah, I just wanted to give some insights on how that work was created, and it's extremely interesting. And like I said, I didn't even notice, but there is a slight bit of that kind of magenta or that purple, if you will. So absolutely stunning. There is no doubt about that. So yeah, I really hope y'all enjoyed today. Like I said, we talked about so many different things, you know, the choice between light and dark. Does he go to the left, or does he take a right into the relentless darkness? And what would y'all do here, right? And so we talked about so many different things, from texture, this sense of vibrance, of course, the choice, and that edit as well. An amazing work from the original artist, SurrealSerpentine. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, go check out the original artist, SurrealSerpentine, doing some amazing stuff in multiple different mediums, of course, taking photography, taking those edits, and creating incredibly unique pieces. He also pays very close attention to the symbolism of the works which he creates. So, like I said, really hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all enjoyed today's episode, go check out the original artist, SurrealSerpentine, doing some amazing stuff. There is no doubt about that. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.